Journalist Lewis Shelton published an article titled, "I Felt Like the Buildings Would Swallow Me Whole: Celebrities and Their Phobias." In his piece, Shelton revealed some intriguing secrets about celebrities, specifically their intense and often irrational fears. One such example is Niall Horan, the former member of One Direction, who has an overwhelming fear of pigeons. This was confirmed by his ex-bandmate Harry Styles. Horan admitted to this phobia after an incident where a pigeon flew through his bathroom window. His reaction? "I think pigeons are out to get me." Strange as it may sound, that's exactly what Horan said at the time. Do you think that's odd? Even more bizarre are the fears of renowned horror writer Stephen King. The man who manages to terrify half the planet, assuming the other half doesn't watch horror movies, confessed, "When I write, I never stop working if the page number is 13 or a multiple of 13. I'll keep going until I land on a safer number." Yes, you understood correctly. Stephen King, the mastermind behind The Shining, has a phobia of the number 13. Interestingly, these peculiar fears are explored in Kate Summerscale's book, The Book of Phobias and Manias: A History of the World in 99 Obsessions. The book takes readers on a journey through 99 distinctive examples of phobias. Many other celebrities also suffer from intense phobias. A notable example is American actor Johnny Depp, who admitted to having a deep fear of clowns. Depp explained his fear, saying, "It always feels like there's something sinister lurking beneath the surface, the potential for real evil. I think I'm scared of clowns because, with their painted-on smiles, it's impossible to tell whether they're happy or about to bite your face off." After all these examples, let's step back from celebrity fears and dive into what phobias actually are. Professor Jürgen Margraf defines a phobia as a psychological condition characterized by a persistent fear of a specific activity, object, or situation, triggered by encountering it or even just thinking about it. Such fears often stem from a past experience that cemented the phobia in the individual's mind. In essence, a phobia is an intense, irrational fear that causes panic and distress when faced with a particular trigger, be it an object, animal, or place. It's important to note, as Professor Margraf emphasizes, that the fear felt by someone with a phobia is disproportionate to the actual danger posed by the object or situation. While phobias are classified as a type of anxiety disorder, the anxiety they cause is tied to a specific trigger and typically disappears when the trigger is absent. The severity of phobias varies from person to person. Their impact can range from a minor inconvenience to a severe fear that interferes with daily life, including work, school, and personal relationships. While individuals with phobias often recognize that their fear is irrational, they are typically unable to control it. Every day, the field of medicine surprises us with advancements that once seemed like distant dreams. However, science has yet to fully uncover the mechanisms behind phobias. Some theories suggest a genetic basis, but there are two primary explanations. One attributes phobias to traumatic experiences the individual has personally endured, while the other points to observational learning, such as witnessing someone else's suffering, e.g., someone developing a fear of electricity after seeing a friend die from electrocution. If we think about it, the idea of inheriting phobias seems logical. A child raised by anxious parents is likely to develop similar anxieties. However, it's important to clarify that for someone to be diagnosed with a phobia, their fear must involve things that are not typically considered frightening by most people. For instance, fearing a tiger does not constitute a phobia because a tiger poses a genuine threat that most people would instinctively fear. Phobias are categorized into four main types, under which thousands of subtypes exist. 1. Agoraphobia. This involves a fear of open spaces or public areas, such as crowded shopping malls, where escaping from the gaze of others feels impossible. In extreme cases, individuals with this disorder may not leave their homes at all. Agoraphobia accounts for approximately 60% of phobia-related disorders. 2. Social phobia, social anxiety disorder. This is primarily characterized by a fear of embarrassment or being judged negatively by others. Those with social phobia are often too shy to speak or eat in public. Think of individuals who immediately glance at their phone screens whenever their eyes meet someone else's. 3. Specific phobia. This type is tied to a particular object or situation, such as fear of animals, heights, or confined spaces. 4. Other types of phobia. This broad category includes various fears, such as fear of heights, open spaces, pain, enclosed spaces, strangers, illness, injections, blood, dental treatments, and animals like spiders, snakes, and dogs, among many others. There are thousands of types of phobias, ranging from the reasonable to the outright bizarre. Despite their diversity, only a handful have established themselves as the most dominant and terrifying to humans. Among the most common is acrophobia, or the fear of heights. Fear of heights isn't classified as a phobia as long as it's rational. Most people feel some level of discomfort with heights. However, when that fear becomes so intense that a person cannot even look out of a window, it's considered abnormal. Then there's claustrophobia, the fear of enclosed spaces. This phobia can trigger intense panic at something as simple as the closing of an elevator or room door, causing sufferers to feel like they're suffocating. Germophobia, on the other hand, is a fear of germs, closely related to severe obsessive-compulsive disorder. People with germophobia frequently wash their hands excessively, focus obsessively on hygiene, and may avoid shaking hands or touching objects in public spaces. Since we've discussed the most common phobias, why not explore some of the strangest ones? Have you ever heard of people who fear peanut butter sticking to the roof of their mouths? It's true. This rare condition is called arachaibutyrophobia. It can develop from a traumatic experience, such as choking on peanut butter or having an allergic reaction to it. If the fear of peanut butter sounds odd, let me introduce you to something even stranger: arithmophobia. Many of us may not enjoy math because not everyone has the same aptitude for numbers. However, some people suffer from an intense fear of numbers, which can significantly impact their lives since it's nearly impossible to avoid numbers in daily tasks. Believe it or not, some individuals experience nomophobia, an excessive anxiety about not having their phone with them or their battery running out. This phobia is typically rooted in smartphone addiction. While phone addiction is common, the fear of not having a phone is considered a rarer form of phobia. Even stranger, some people are afraid of money. Known as plutophobia, this fear involves an aversion to wealth or riches. People with this condition might even sabotage their own careers to avoid financial success, often due to fears of the responsibilities and pressures that wealth might bring. During my research, I came across another unusual phobia: ephebiphobia, or the fear of teenagers. Individuals with this phobia perceive teenagers as unpredictable, uncontrollable, and rule-defying. This fear is believed to stem from the negative portrayal of teenagers in the media. Sufferers tend to avoid places frequented by teens, such as gyms, arcades, or cafes. If we were to continue discussing unusual phobias, we'd need many episodes to cover them all. For instance, there's trypophobia, where individuals feel uneasy or distressed when seeing clusters of holes, especially symmetrical ones. Similarly, omphallophobia, or fear of belly buttons, is another rare condition. Some individuals avoid looking at or touching belly buttons, even their own. In severe cases, sufferers might cover their belly button with a bandage to avoid seeing or touching it. There are countless other bizarre phobias that we simply don't have time to explore here. But I can't conclude without mentioning one of the most surprising: the fear of phobias itself. Yes, you read that correctly. Some people experience a profound fear of developing an intense fear. This condition, often described as floating anxiety, traps sufferers in a cycle of panic triggered by the fear of fear itself, a self-fulfilling prophecy. Treating phobias like other medical conditions, phobias have been the subject of scientific investigation since their discovery. Treatment options can be classified based on the approach used. The official term for treating phobias is psychotherapy, though some cases may require medication or a combination of both. Psychotherapy is one of the primary methods for treating phobias. It helps individuals adjust their thoughts and behaviors related to their fears. One highly effective method is cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, which addresses the underlying thoughts and behaviors driving the phobia. Another approach is exposure therapy, which can be implemented in two ways. 1. Systematic desensitization, gradually exposing the individual to the source of their phobia in a controlled and incremental manner. 2. Flooding, exposing the individual directly to the phobia's trigger all at once. This method, often referred to as shock therapy in colloquial terms, can be effective but should be used cautiously. In some cases, doctors may resort to medication, typically antidepressants, to manage symptoms. Many medications can alleviate phobia-related anxiety, and healthcare providers can help determine the best options, explain potential side effects, and address any other concerns. Final thoughts. It's important to remember that phobias are not a sign of weakness or a personal failing. They are common and can affect anyone, regardless of age, cultural background, or social standing. Just as it's acceptable to seek medical attention for a broken bone, a cold, or fever, there's no shame in consulting a mental health professional for help with phobias or severe anxiety. If you found this video informative, please support us with a like and share it widely. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future content. Thank you.